What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful day today. Beautiful day. A little bit of a cloudy area over there. Those clouds look like they contain rain. Very dark. Maybe even will pop out a lightning. But very tropical. Feels like I'm on an island. A little bit of a breeze going. About 2.5 miles an hour. So, have some new albums here I'm going to discuss. Saturday morning cartoons. Everybody knows in the 70s, 80s, and before, there was a Saturday morning cartoon time. So I'd get up really early and I'd turn on my Zenith black and white television set, and I'd watch cartoons from 7 o'clock till 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock being the last one, Fat Albert and the gang. But in the in-between time, I would watch Fred Flintstone, Popeye was another one, or Popeye, and then that Bullwinkle, Yogi Bear. And so I got this album here. This thing was recorded in New York, like a lot of things in those days. But got the Flintstones, Woody Woodpecker, Popeye the Sailor Man, which I loved watching. Had that spinach thing, and I don't know why they associate spinach with muscles and strength. Yes, it has a little bit of iron in it, nothing crazy, but eating spinach does not do a thing to get you, really strong. It's misconception. Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. I loved watching all those. I used to get home from school because those those were like on the UHF stations, and you'd have to mess around with the little knob there, and then mess around with the rabbit ears, and then you would get a bit of a signal and you'd watch these things. Let's see what's going on here. These were not on Saturday morning, those cartoons. Huckleberry Hound. So I would get home from school and watch these. I loved watching Yogi Bear, Flintstones. But anyway, the Popeye one there, I loved when he would eat the spinach and then beat everyone up. Had the big forearms, little biceps. And one time I remember we had spinach in cans at my house. We never used them. My mother had them in there for like a decade. I don't know why they bought those. There must have been one time my mother wanted to make spinach and couldn't find the fresh ones, so they ended up buying those, and then they found the fresh ones, and those remained in the cabinet for years. So one day I was playing around, it was Saturday afternoon, and I took the spinach can and put it in my shirt, and I ran around with it all day like I was going to eat that and, Hulk out. But it was a cool cartoon. And then I loved the voice of the squirrel, the flying squirrel, Rocky. Really cool. I remember it would be kind of like this cloud. It would kind of be almost like rainy, and I had the windows open, and I'd watch that. And even now when I hear the voice of Rocky, it reminds me of those days instantly, or as they say, instamatically. So, got that. Then, when I was younger, I used to watch Sesame Street. Loved Sesame Street. Look at that. This one has all the cool tunes on it. So there's Big Bird here. Susan. Hot Lady. Susan. Gordon. Is that Gordon or some other name? He had some issue that happened to him many years ago. He was being chased, I think, by the cops. He had some serious mental breakdown. But I remember him. And then you had Bert and Ernie, and then Mr. Hooper. Mr. Hooper, he owned that little store that had nothing in it. And then Bob used to sing Who Are the People in Your Neighborhood? And then you had the puppets, or Muppets, right? But I was a huge fan. I used to watch Sesame Street. I remember the first time I saw it, I was in the kitchen, and we had a little television set on the counter, and my father was flipping through the channels trying to find something interesting to watch, and I remember Bert and Ernie popped up, and then he went past him, and I go back. I go, what is that? And he put it back, and then I became a little hooked on it. I used to watch it all the time. I'd get back, you know, kindergarten, home, and I'd turn it on, that, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So, and I'm pretty sure Susan, the actress that played Susan, is still alive. So is Maria, Sonia something. But loved watching that show. I thought those houses were real on Sesame Street. I actually made my father one time drive around the city and ask people, where is Sesame Street? I thought it was a real place in my city, and we went up and down side roads. I remember there was this area that kind of looked like it would be Sesame Street area, but obviously it wasn't because it's a studio set. But my father tried. So got a few more items here. Tarzan. So my favorite Tarzan was Johnny Weissmuller, the Olympic gold medalist. Used to love watching that. He didn't speak much. He had that boy, you know, broken English type thinking and or speaking, and I just watched that more than the other ones. But then this guy came around. What's his name? Eli. He came around, and he was a more intelligent, well-educated Tarzan, and I'm told that is how Tarzan was in the book. Spoke perfect English, was able to drive a manual transmission as he was. I remember we were watching an episode one time with my father, and he was driving a Jeep manual transmission, and my father looked at it, he goes, I don't like that. He's not a good Tarzan. But he was the authentic one. But I still prefer Johnny Weissmuller. Just, I'm fascinated with this story, this Tarzan thing. The apes, they raise him, they give him all these skills, you know, does the yodeling, which is physically impossible to do. I know Johnny Weissmuller said that was actually him doing it, but when you listen to it, you can tell that if it was one person, they manipulated it in the studio where they played it backwards and everything, forwards. But it doesn't sound like it's a voice that Johnny Weissmuller was able to do. That sounds like they went in the studio with some opera singer, or maybe a couple of them, and they recorded multiple tracks, if they even had that capability, or they had a couple of guys, and then they reversed it and gave it that sound, because that does not sound like something you can do. I guarantee you, if you took Pavarotti and you said to him, do the Tarzan sound, it would not sound that way. It would sound different. So, I know he claims he did it, but anyway, then I have here a show that I was a huge fan of, crazy fan. I can't even tell you, in order for you to know what kind of quiet with the breaks, in order for you to understand what kind of a fan I was, you would have had to have been the same kind of fan. I was obsessed. $6 Million Man. $6 Million Man. Loved the $6 Million Man. I could not get enough. If we had VCRs in those days, I would record it and watch it back to back to back, especially the opening credits. I love the opening credits. We can rebuild him. We have the capabilities, we have the technology. That we have the technology line fascinates me to this day, that they say we have the technology. The word technology, that's one of my favorite words. So anyway, look at that. Interesting, you know, these are all cartoon stories. That's a cool Steve Austin look. There's one here where he's like, there, look at that kick. actually saw Oscar Goldman, Richard Anderson, the guy that played Oscar. I saw him in real life back in the mid-90s. I was at a car show, and he was in a side room looking at the Rolls-Royce Bentleys, those cars. He was in there. He was talking to somebody, and I looked in and I go, oh, that's Oscar. He worked for the OSI, so he had the money. Or he authorized taxpayers to pay for his Bentley. Who knows? Put that away in the safe packet that I bought it in. So then we have here, look at that. He is boxing. Got the gloves on, the shorts. Batman, Adam West. I used to watch this. Loved watching this when I was a kid. I was fascinated with the Batcave and the whole thing that they had the house on top and they'd go down the poles and instantly dress up. I love that. I even go to the Batcave now. Bronson Caves. But look at that. So I like that they would break the show in half and show you 30 minutes, and then I think it was like the following day you would see the second half. Like, why couldn't they have a whole hour and do it all in one shot? Tune in next time. Same bat channel, same bat time, all that. And then we have this guy here. I used to watch Shazam when I was a kid, but this is the actor that played him in the movie. I used to watch the other one, television. It was like 15 minutes or so of Shazam, then 15 minutes of Mighty Isis, something like that. And Isis, the actress that played Isis, was a good-looking lady there, very attractive. She was like a school teacher. Pull out that necklace with whatever that was, that pendant thing, and then she would say, "Oh, mighty Isis," and she would change. And they had a far better disguise than Superman. At least they looked different. Nobody could tell who this guy was, except for that giveaway lightning bolt in front of that Winnebago. Somebody would say, "You guys have that thing of Shazam lightning? You Shazam?" I don't know why they had that. They're trying to be undercover, but they have the lightning in the front. But this is the actor, the one that played in the movie. But I was a huge fan of Shazam, Captain Marvel. And a lot of that stuff was shot around here. Sometimes I drive in the areas there and I go up, yeah, this looks like a place where they shot the Shazam show and Mighty Isis. So I loved that. This was like, not him, this should have inspired the dream, but the Mighty Isis character inspired a dream for me. And that was, in my dream, I'm on a field trip, and we end up parking the bus on the side. We go inside, whatever this field trip was. Doesn't really tell you what it was in the dream. And then I remember telling my teacher I forgot something on the bus. I have to go get it. I get on the bus, and underneath the seat that I was sitting in is a nice box made out of wood. I open it up like this. I look inside, and it's the Isis jewelry piece. And I think it doesn't even feel like a dream. It felt like real life to me. I was so excited. I took it off. I put it on my, took it off out of the box, put it on around my neck, and I said, "Oh, mighty Isis." And I changed into a male version of Isis. Had pants on that were white, had a shirt on with fancy, I don't know what that was. It was like topaz on it. And I looked a little bit different. And I had that thing on my forehead, that jewelry piece. And I was able to fly and do all kind of things. And I was flying in my dream. And then I changed back and I went back into the place where the field trip was taking place. And I thought it was real. Until I woke up and I was very annoyed. It's like, oh, it was just a dream. You know, I've had a few dreams like that. One time I was at a place where there was a buried treasure that I found. And I grabbed a ton of, I don't know what it was like diamonds or something. They were in my hand. I was squeezing them. And I was starting to slowly wake up, and I was feeling something in my hand. But then I was feeling nothing. And I go, oh, was this just a dream? I woke up and it was a dream. Very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Now, I have this friend back in the 80s. Somehow he was able to buy an IROC. And I came by my house first time he had it. And I look out and I go, wow, that's an IROC. And then, you know, we drove that thing all over the place. A lot of good memories in there. I wish he still had it. Doesn't have it anymore, but the memories remain. So look at that. IROC black. This is an 89. He had an 85. Not that much of a difference. Let's see that. Z28. But we enjoyed the car. Problem was it was a bit of a lemon, and he put a lot of money repairing it, especially on the transmission side. Eventually he got it right. They fixed it the right way, but you know, it took a long time to get it the way it should be. And then my dream car, look at that. When I was in high school, when I was in my prime, I wanted a 1967 4-speed manual transmission Pontiac GTO. I never got one, but that was my dream car. Yeah, this one's red. Red was fine. It was a popular color for the GTO, but blue or black is perfect for me. I'm not really a red, you know, it's good, red's good, but I prefer like either the black one or even the dark blue, you know, that nice majestic blue. But this was my dream car. Look at that, Pontiac GTO 67. I will say, even says Pontiac in there. I will say that even the Judge, the 71, 69 I think, and then 70, 71, I like those two. Like all the GTOs, the old ones, the muscle ones. So, one of my favorite albums of all time, Achtung Baby. Achtung Baby in vinyl, remastered. So I was a fan of Joshua Tree. I can hear like lightning. I mean, I can't hear the lightning, I can hear the thunder. Anyway, love Joshua Tree. We actually had a lesson on it at school. My teacher brought in all this stuff, talked about it. And when this came out, I go, I gotta get that. Gotta get that. So I went over and I think the battery's gonna die, so I'm gonna change it right now. Alright, I had to change the battery. So anyway, speaking of the Achtung Baby album, after Joshua Tree and after, you know, all the other stuff, Achtung Baby came out, and what was it, The Fly was the first single, and I said I gotta get that album. It just spoke to me right off the bat. So I went and I bought it, and I couldn't stop listening to it. It became an addiction. I listened to this so many times. High quality album. You know, every song is a gem to me. Every single one, even the ones that were not released as singles. I don't know, it's one of my favorite. If not my favorite, it's one of. Because sometimes it's interchangeable. Sometimes you like this one slightly more, and then there's another one you go, that one's, but this one here, great album. The Fly, Mysterious Ways. The Love Is Blindness never was released, but I love that tune. Acrobat, awesome tune. Ultraviolet, Light My Way, great tune. Zoo Station, one. There's it's a 2 LP in here, but digitally remastered and high quality work. I mean, Bono and the band, they were pumping on 12 cylinders when they did this one. I know it's about the Edge's divorce, but I feel this album. I hear it lyrically, it touches me. Joshua Tree is awesome. Just this one for me is slightly better, slightly. And then the gem that came out, I had no idea that there was another album they were working on. So I'm still listening to this one, and I'm enjoying it so much. But I'm thinking, you know, it's going to be a while before another album comes out. And one day, I'm down in Long Beach, and I'm walking down on Belmont Shore, doing a little back and forth there, getting a little bit of exercise. And I said, I think I want to go to the mall. You know, I think I want to go check out the record store. So I went in there, and all of a sudden, I see this thing. U2, Zooropa. And I go, is this new, or is it something I missed from the past? And I look in the back, it was brand new. Went back to my little apartment there, and I got my Walkman out. I put it on. I started walking Belmont Shore up and down, and I got into this so much. I love this. Is like an alternative sound, you know. It's not like a mainstream sound, but it's a great album. Great tunes, every single one of these. And I remember Numb was released as a single, and that's The Edge doing vocals and Bono in the background. Kind of like he's it's kind of like a talking song, a rapping type song, but really, really nice sound. Some days are better than others. Oh, they all suck. The First Time, Dirty Day, The Wanderer. That one I remember being in my little apartment down in Long Beach, listening to that, The Wanderer, over and over and over. It was Johnny Cash on lead vocals, and it had like a boom, 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 you know, one of those type of sounds. And that's a great tune. Lemon, Babyface, Zooropa. This whole thing, it's a gem. They were hot. I mean, they were just putting out good material. So I remember this was a pleasant surprise when it came out. And then here they have a couple of remixes. Side 4, it has Lemon, the Perfecto mix, 8 minutes and 57 seconds. And then you have Numb. It's another mix, 8 minutes 51 seconds. It's to say, give me some more Dignity mix. But yeah, like I said, this was a pleasant surprise, because I thought, you know, many years were gonna go by. I was thinking this album here, Achtung Baby, it was so good that I thought it was gonna be one of those situations where Bono was gonna be like, yeah, let's just enjoy, you know, the success of the album and not put anything out for a while. But nope, they went, I think, back to Ireland. They had some free time in between the leg of tours, and they sat down and did this one. But let me see, One, that's the, you know, one of the biggest hits on here, One. But I like the song that really, you know, I like all these songs, but the one that really caught my attention, Until the End of the World. Something about it, the sound of it, you know, it's just like, to me, really nice musically, lyrically. I always felt that the vocals were slightly too low in the mix, slightly, but if you listen to it on good speakers, it's just right, you know. I mean, you want to listen to these on nice speakers, nice with that full bass. So, a little bit of rain falling now. So anyway, if you have to get an album and you're on an uninhabited island, this one here. And then if you want to have something as a backup to that, Zooropa. I actually saw them live for the Achtung Baby tour, and it was over at Gillette Stadium. Great concert. I think Bono was a little lit that day, a little bit. Not much, but he was lit. Seemed like it. Either that or he was pretending to You know, they brought out a belly dancer, and but yeah, it was a good concert. And then it was hell getting out, traffic everywhere. All right, so that's it for now. I shall be back some other day or some other hour, more likely. All right, ciao.